All right, let's talk about something we all do, driving on the highway. We're going to peel back the pavement, so to speak, and look at the incredible hidden technology that keeps our roads moving. And trust me, it is way cooler and more complex than you probably think. You know the moment, right? You're cruising down the expressway, tunes are on, and you zip right under one of those giant steel arches. There's no toll booth, you don't even slow down, there's just a quick flash from a camera or a sensor. But have you ever really stopped to think about what is happening in that split second? Because what you're seeing, that gantry, all the cameras, that's just the very, very top of a massive, hidden technological iceberg. And today, we're going to take a deep dive to see what's really going on beneath the surface. So before we can appreciate this crazy solution, we have to start with the problem. And it's a problem every single one of us knows very well. Ah, yes, the classic traffic jam. The whole point of an expressway is to go fast, right? But for decades, traditional toll plazas have been the ultimate bottleneck. You take 12 lanes of speeding traffic, and you try to funnel them through 3 or 4 little booths. It's a recipe for disaster, just pure gridlocked frustration. And this is the elegant solution everyone came up with, multi-lane free flow, or MLFF. The idea is brilliant in its simplicity. Just get rid of the booths, get rid of the barriers, and let traffic fly through at full speed. Problem solved. But, and this is a big but, making that seamless experience actually work is where all the hidden complexity comes in. Okay, so let's start our descent into this iceberg. The very first layer we hit, right below the water, is the physical hardware. You know, the actual nuts and bolts and cameras hanging up there on the gantry. And getting them set up is way more intense than just pointing a camera at the road. The level of precision here is just astounding. Technicians use this really high-tech surveying tool called a total station, and their job is to map out the exact three-dimensional position, the X, Y, and Z coordinates of every single sensor. We're talking millimeter-level accuracy. It has to be that perfect for the system to know exactly where your car is in space and time. And just to give you a sense of how serious this isn't your average construction gig. This quote is pulled directly from an installation manual. They're using powerful industrial-grade lasers to get everything perfectly aligned. This is some serious, high-stakes, high-tech stuff happening right over your head. So the sensors and lasers have done their job. They've captured a snapshot of your car. Now what? Where does that information go? Well, for that, we have to go another layer deeper, into those anonymous gray metal boxes you see sitting on the side of the highway. Yeah, these are not just simple junction boxes. Inside, they are full-on, powerful, specialized computers. They call them tolling segment master controllers, or TSMCs. And as you can see, they're packed with server-grade gear, CPUs, RAM, hard drives, all designed to process that flood of data from the gantry in real time, right there on the shoulder of the road. But this is where things get really fascinating. When you start digging into the maintenance manuals for these cutting-edge systems, you find some real gems. The operating system powering this whole thing, a lot of the time, it's something like Windows 2003 Server. You know, an old-school workhorse that's known for being incredibly stable and reliable for one specific job. And the instructions for the technicians are hyper-specific. I mean, wonderfully nerdy. Check this out. A direct order not to defragment a specific hard drive. It just goes to show you how finely tuned these systems are. You can't just run your standard cleanup. Everything has a very, very particular purpose. And this one? This is my absolute favorite. This proves that no matter how advanced or complex technology gets, some things are just universal. The ultimate troubleshooting step, the one we all turn to when things go wrong, yep, you gotta turn it off and then turn it back on again. Simply amazing. Okay, so we've got data and it's being processed by a computer on the side of the road. But how does that info get from the highway to the central billing office without getting lost or, worse, stolen? This brings us to the next, deeper layer of our iceberg, the data connection itself. You absolutely cannot just send this kind of sensitive financial and location data over an open network. As you can see here, that would be a disaster waiting to happen. So instead, the system has to build what is basically a digital fortress around the data, using multiple layers of security to keep it safe. And the key piece of tech that builds this fortress is something called an SSL VPN. The easiest way to picture it is like a private, armored super tunnel built through the public internet. It wraps up all the data in layers of encryption at the roadside computer and shoots it straight to the central system, making sure nobody can peek inside or mess with it along the way. Okay, we have now reached the very bottom of our iceberg. All of that perfectly captured, securely transmitted data has arrived at its final destination, a central command center. And what happens there? Well, it gets handled by a vast and incredibly complex software ecosystem. And look, we're not talking about just one piece of software. It's an entire suite of highly specialized applications, each with its own job. You've got tools to manage the system, a live dashboard that monitors the health of every single gantry in the country, services that collect and crunch the data, and even calculators to check performance. It is a massive software machine humming away completely out of sight. And all of that software, all of that complexity, works together to create one beautifully simple and powerful thing. It's called a Passage Evidence Bundle, or PED. And that name is perfect. It bundles everything, the photo of your car, the exact time, the location, into one single digitally signed, tamper-proof package. This little bundle is the official, undeniable legal proof that you drove through that toll point. Okay, wow, we have gone on quite a journey, from the top of the gantry all the way down to the deepest lines of code. So let's come back up for air and put all these hidden pieces together. Why does all of this mind-boggling complexity even exist? We've seen the incredible millimeter-perfect precision using actual lasers to align every sensor. We've seen the powerful computers sitting on the roadside and the encrypted, armored tunnels that protect all of their data. And we've seen the huge ecosystem of software that's needed to manage, monitor, and verify every single car that passes by. All of it. Every layer of that technological iceberg we just explored, it all exists for one simple reason: to make this frustrating, time-wasting, soul-crushing traffic jam a complete relic of the past. It's just a great reminder that so much of the easy, seamless stuff in our modern world is built on these incredible, invisible layers of complexity. So the next time you drive under a toll gantry, maybe you'll see more than just a big piece of steel. Maybe, just maybe, you'll see the tip of the iceberg. Thanks for joining me.